the world, it became more and more and more depressed until it was like suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. Nothing can make it go away except medical advice and seeking medical help. I had everything, but yet it didn't mean nothing. I wanted to die on a daily basis. So material goods are only good for when things are going right in your life. I never knew what it was until it was researched and it told me that you're suffering from anxiety. I thought I was dying. I said, look, I think I've been drugged. Someone's trying to kill me, blah, 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 blah. Test me. I said, I want a blood test right now. I'm having a heart attack. I think I've had a stroke. When I finally realised what it was, I look back at it now, and if I ever go into anxiety again, I know how to handle it. But before, it was a first-time experience of a panic attack. I didn't know what was going on. I was calling out to God to forgive me for my sins because I was 100% certain I was going to hit the floor and die. The only thing I could think about was my kids having no father growing up. I think them final moments of life, nothing else matters apart from the most important things. I needed some time off. I'd been boxing from being 10, 11 years old and right up to 27 with no break. So I needed time to live a little life and enjoy myself, really. But it just went too far. All the time I was out, I was still doing random drugs tests. So I had cocaine in my system on 2 occasions. The British Boxing Board of Control had suspended my licence. I was deemed medically unfit to fight by the leading psychiatrist in the country. Millions of dollars in lawyers' fees to pay on ongoing battle in court cases. The odds of me overcoming all them obstacles, never mind the weight and the mental health, is like 0. It's not possible. And I had a lot of time off, 2.5 years, and a lot of people said I'd never, ever, ever return. Because to lose that much weight and to come from where I've come from, I had mental health problems, alcoholism, addiction to drugs, everything you can think of, I've been there and done it. I really don't know what had me depressed, but I knew I was just spiraling out of control. And the only thing I could think of to make it better, go away for a bit, was getting drunk.
Wow.
And that just led to problems after problems after problems. If I knew what it was, then I'd have fixed it straight away. But you just don't know what causes these things. And I was drinking every day, something I'd never done in my life.
Wow.
To try and wash me sorrows away. Doing drinking 4 or 5 drinks every night. Because that had helped me go straight to sleep, no problem. And I was very unhealthy. I didn't fit in anything I owned anymore. But every time I got drunk, I'd come home and I'd say, right, I'm starting training in the morning, regain mission. I'm going to be the heavyweight champion of the world again. You watch. I could be anywhere. Like, it was crazy. It was way out of control. Something needed to happen, and it did. Turning point was, I went out Halloween dressed as a skeleton in a fancy dress party. I went out about 9 o'clock and I expected to stay out all night and get smashed. I had 1 drink. I looked around me and I thought, what am I doing? I'm thinking sensible again. I said to myself, you're telling me that you would rather be here with a load of kids half your age? Is this what you really want when you've got a family at home and you're depriving your kids and your wife of quality time?
Wow.
Yeah, I pushed everything I held dear away from me. I went upstairs to my room. I got down, I took the skeleton suit off and I got down on my knees. And I was in a dark room on my own. And I was praying to God to help me. And I knew I couldn't do it on my own. I just knew it. I couldn't do it. I'd said so many times I was going to do it and believed I was going to do it in the night. But the next day come, I didn't have no motivation to do it. 0 motivation to have a shave, 0 to brush your teeth, even have a shower, nothing. I got back that night and my wife thought I was drunk. I come home early. She says, oh, you're home early? I said, yeah. I said, I've had enough of this life. I said, tomorrow, I said, I start to turn my life around. She said, yeah, I've heard it all before, because I'm the man who cried wolf 1,000 times. I said, I promise you. I said, I'm going to do it. I'm definitely going to do it. And nobody believed me. But I knew I had a smile on my face, twinkle in my eye. I got my tracksuit on in the morning and I was going to run 2 miles. I got about 200 yards and stopped. And I thought, right, I can't run. I've run all my life. I've always been a very good runner. And I got 200 yards and I was totally gone. It was a horrible feeling. I thought, okay, I'm going to walk the rest. And I walked. And while I was walking, I was on my phone. And And I saw a little video from Deontay Wilder. He'd never come back. He said, and I'm glad he's gone because I'd have knocked him out anyway. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to give it you proper. You're my motivation now. I'm coming back to get you. And every day I get a little bit further until I was doing 4 and 5 mile again. We worked very hard, trained 3 times a day, was on a strict diet. I said, I'm coming back. I said, I'm going to win the heavyweight championship of the world again. I said, whether you believe it or not, I said, I'm telling you, I'm going to do it. It was December now. I goes into this court case, and everyone said, it's a political court case against you. You're getting your hat nailed on today. You're getting a 12-year ban. I said, I'm telling you, I'm going to walk out that courtroom. I said, and I'm not going to get no ban. Nothing. Their lawyers had spent well over 1.5 million trying to nail me hat on. And we called it quits on both sides to never have enough evidence to charge me. They had nothing. They never had a thing. And I walked out and I said, thank you, God. I said, now. I said, people will listen today. I went to the Boxing Board of Control and I said, right, I want my licence back. I'm going to make a comeback. They said, right, you need to pass the same person who made you medically unfit. You've got to go and get medically fit. And if that doctor makes you medically fit, mentally and physically, then we haven't got a problem with it. And everybody I saw, Dr. Phil, Dr. Martin, all these people, they said, excellent, perfect. He said, no problem, stamp, bang, bang, bang. Every one of them deemed me medically well and everything was back to normal. They had a board meeting, a high board meeting, and he said, right, approved, bang, reinstated my licence. I couldn't believe it. Everything that I had obstacle against me was now gone. I was on a clear running path and I worked my way back, and we worked repetitively, day in, day out, day in, day out. And then I trained my way back nice and steady. We had a fairy tale story. It was hard work. But I finally got there in the end, and I'd had that first fight, lovely. I felt like a fish back in the ocean. And I've never looked back since. But I believe it was a massive test, because sometimes in life when everything's going great for you and you don't know good from bad, you need to experience a little rain sometimes so you can enjoy the sunshine again. And now I'm happy for the small things in life. Just being here, talking in a mental, healthy state, basically. Right. I've got a great platform here to spread awareness for mental health, especially in sports. And if the heavyweight champion of the world can suffer with these problems, and it's okay for him to come out and talk about it, then that should encourage others to come out and talk about it. Because as big as and as tough and as opposed to great fighter I am, it can bring anybody down. Nobody is unstoppable from mental health problems. Everybody loves a comeback story, don't they? Everybody loves a great comeback. I'm a great believer, always have been and always will be, when it's your time, it's your time. Everything's meant to be in life, and I believe that I'm brought here for a reason, and I've got a mission in life, and I don't know what it is, but I don't know where it's going to take me, but I've overcome so much already. I can't lose already. Right. I believe it's written in stone, and my destiny is already set out in front of me. I believe everything's written in the stars, basically. So, you know, people go into boxing fights a bit nervous. I just go with the flow. All I got to do is train hard and turn up, because whatever's meant to be will be. I can't do nothing about it. It's out of my control. My destiny's already been written.
What people think about you and the possibilities for your dream is none of your business. The attitude is it can't be done because they haven't seen it. History is being read, but it's also being written by people with imagination. It's necessary you take responsibility for it, that you make it happen, that you don't give up, that you don't take any objection or disappointment or defeats personally, that you keep on keeping on, that you don't decide that I can't make it because you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, that you realize that's a part of the program.
As the physically weak man can make himself strong by careful and patient training, so the man of weak thoughts can make them strong by exercising himself in right thinking. To put away aimlessness and weakness and to begin to think with purpose is to enter the ranks of those strong ones who only recognize failure as one of the pathways to attainment, who make all conditions serve them and who think strongly, attempt fearlessly, and accomplish masterfully. He who would accomplish little must sacrifice little. He who would achieve much must sacrifice much. He who would attain highly must sacrifice greatly.
What are you going to do starting tomorrow that'll make a difference? Major step to human progress. Discipline. If there's one thing to get excited over, that's it. Get excited over your ability to make yourself do the necessary things.
Because the story you have about your life, about your business, about the area of your life that's not where you want it, your story is what's making you stop.
Yes, it's hard, and we will do it hard. And once we do it hard and we go through it, we realize it was worth it. And once you discover it was worth it, it is done.
Study the things that can change your economic, social, spiritual, personal life. See, you don't want to wind up at the end of your life and discover that you've lived only 1/10 of it.
If you expect to achieve your goals, if you expect to reach your potential, if you expect to have your dreams come true, what I'm about to explain to you is mission critical. You must become a master at visualization. Now, for those of you that are like, what the heck is she talking about? I did not sign up for some sort of meditation, woo-woo spiritual thing here. Don't worry. This is Mel Robbins. There's always science and research involved in everything that I talk about. So visualization is a extraordinarily powerful skill. And you may have heard of the law of attraction. You may have heard of the word visualization. You may have heard of the word manifesting. I call it seeing signs. So I'm a master at seeing positive signs. I am a master of creating coincidences. I have the world's most incredible luck. You want to know why? Because I understand the science and the skill of visualization. I know that your brain, it is a gigantic detective machine. Your brain is a filter. Your brain is constantly looking for evidence. And that's good news. It's good news when you know how to use it to your advantage. Let me explain. So your brain has a system in it. Here's the technical term. It's called the reticular activating system. It is a network of neurons all up in here. And what is the job of the reticular activating system? It is a filter system. It's basically a system that allows certain information in your brain and it blocks out other information. And guess who programmed that filter? You did. And so did the people from your past. And so if you constantly feel like you're unlovable, guess what? Your reticular activating system is going through the day and it is going to point out every single piece of evidence that confirms that negative belief that you have. If your goal is to improve your self-worth, I want you to visualize what your life looks like and how you're going to feel about yourself when your self-worth has improved. Here's how you're going to do it. So there's two things that you have to do when it comes to visualization. You have to close your eyes. Truly, I know it sounds stupid, but I want you to close your eyes and I want you to, in your mind, have a specific picture of what it looks like in your life when your self-worth has improved. You're going to see yourself speaking up at work. You're going to see yourself talking more about your business. You're going to see yourself leaving bad relationships. You're going to see yourself defining boundaries. You're going to see yourself going to the gym. You're going to see yourself taking care of yourself. And when you start to visualize the image of that, I want you to consciously, this is step 2, consciously think of the positive emotions that you're going to feel. I'm going to feel happy. I'm going to feel proud. I'm going to stand taller. I'm going to be so grateful that I made this change. Marrying the specific picture. Oh, there I am. There I am. I'm at work and I'm raising my hand. Amazing. I'm sharing my idea. There I am. I'm getting a promotion. There I am asking for a raise. There I am. I've just signed up another customer to my business. There I am. I've gone back to school. I feel so good about myself. When you do that, here's what's actually happening in your brain. This is the cool science part. You are training your brain to have a totally different filter. You see, your brain, my brain, it doesn't know the difference between something that actually happened to you, like the F you got in your test in 10th grade, and the things you imagine that are happening to you. Let me say that again. Your brain doesn't know the difference between the bad things that actually happened to you, the real memories that you have, and an imagined memory that you're creating. Your brain will experience you visualizing going to the gym, you visualizing how happy you feel when you do, you visualizing asking for that raise and getting it and how proud you're going to feel. Your brain, when you visualize in the way that I'm teaching you to, it encodes it as a real memory. And that's important. Because when you encode it as a real memory, it changes the filter system, that reticular activating system. And here's what we know based on research. The more you visualize things, number one, the greater your confidence is going to be, the greater security you're going to have about it. And here's the really cool thing. The more you do this with your goals, you wake up every day and you just visualize. It takes 30 freaking seconds, for crying out loud. You visualize having a great day at school. You visualize curing your panic and how proud you're going to be. What studies suggest and have proven is that simply visualizing yourself doing things actually develops the skill and helps you improve the skills, just as if you were actually doing it. The problem with passion is that you and I have bought into this massive fantasy world where we think that passion is a person or a place or a thing, that somehow, like a needle in a needle in a haystack, that you are somehow just going to stumble into the thing and you're going to find that one person, or you're going to find that one thing that you're meant to do, or you're going to find that career. And honestly, we got to change the way that you think about passion and purpose before you will actually be able to bring it into your life. Because the truth is, passion isn't in a person, it isn't in a place, and it isn't in a thing. It's something inside of you. And when you flip the definition of what passion is, and when you actually understand what you're looking for when you say, I want to discover my passion, then you'll be able to create more of it in thinking about luck, because for a long time in my life, I started to think that luck was for other people, that luck was just one of those things that if you were lucky enough to be born with luck, you won the lottery, you got the job you wanted, your family got along. And the truth is, there's a tremendous amount of science behind luck, that luck is something that you can make for yourself, that you can become luckier based on the things that you do and the things that you think about. And one of the things about lucky people is a lot of lucky people make their luck because they have trained themselves to think optimistically. And one small trick that you can use in your life that is free, you can do it today, is when you go to bed tonight, before you go to sleep, I want you to write down one thing that happened today that was good. That's it. Every night before you go to bed, I want you to write down one thing that happened today that's good. In fact, let's do it right now. In the comments, go to the comments and tell me one thing that has happened today that you can think of that's good. Just one thing. Maybe you got up on time. Maybe you didn't have traffic today on the way to work. Maybe you haven't fought with your kids this morning. Maybe you got to the gym. Maybe you woke up and for the first hour of the day you didn't make yourself wrong. All of those things, while they're really little, don't dismiss them, because those are things that are good. And the reason why I want you to start a practice where every night before you go to bed, or if you don't want to do it at night, do it in the morning, every night before you go to bed, write down one thing that happened today that was good. The reason why you're doing this is you are training yourself to start to spot the good. Believe it or not, training yourself to start to look for the good in your life fundamentally trains your mind away from looking at the negative, so that you start seeing this thing that's positive about your life versus that thing that's negative about your life. You're never, ever, ever, ever going to feel like doing the things you need to do in order to have what you want. You're always going to need to push yourself. You're always going to need to parent yourself. So what is the net advice on this? What is the bottom line? The bottom line is no one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you. And because you're only ever going to do the things that you feel like doing right now or that feel good right now, unless you understand that you've got to parent yourself, you got to push yourself, you're not going to make your dreams come true. You're just not. We're not wired that way. You weren't born that way. You weren't that way when you were growing up, and you're certainly not that way as an adult. And there's a tremendous amount of liberation that comes when you accept the fact that you're always going to need to give yourself a push. The truth is, if you want control in your life, if you want to make things happen, you have to be able to expect that you're going to get a no and do it anyway. So what do I mean when I say, if you want control, expect a no? Well, there's a couple things that I mean by it. Number one, if you're somebody that gets paralyzed because you want things to be perfect, perfectionism is a way that most of us try to handle or mitigate or make sure that we don't hear no. We assume that if we're perfect, everything's going to go okay. And so we spend all of our energy thinking about our dating profile or thinking about the business plan or thinking about how to make things perfect. And the reason why we do that is we're terrified to hear no. We're terrified to put something out there that's not perfect, because if it's not perfect, you might get a no. One of the better ways to handle this is to actually expect a no. You know, I saw the most incredible quote by our friend Faustina over in Australia. She's a very famous DJ and friend of ours from Australia. And she put out the most amazing quote, and I'm going to get it totally wrong. But it's something like this: you have to be yourself, because how else are the people who are looking for you going to find you? And I think particularly when it comes to dating, what we tend to do is we are so afraid of being rejected by anybody out there that we try to be somebody that we're not, that we put out a fake, improved, or what we think is improved version of ourselves in order to not hear no. And most of us pretend to be somebody that we're not when we fear rejection, when we believe that how we are, who we are, isn't good enough. And so that's why it's so important for you to understand that you have to be willing to hear a no. You have to be willing to hear a no from the wrong people, so that the people that are looking for you can find you, so that the people who want to be part of your business can be part of your business. If you're putting a fake person out there or a pretend perfect person out there because you think that's gonna save you from rejection, you're actually screwing yourself over. You're not a procrastinator. You have a habit of procrastinating. Big difference. Because if it's a habit, I can teach you to use science to break it. You see, all habits have three parts. There's a trigger, and in the case of procrastination, the trigger's always stress. Then there's a pattern you repeat, and in the case of procrastination, it is to avoid doing something. And then there's a reward. You get a little stress relief. The only way to break a habit, you guys, is not to deal with the triggers. You're never gonna get rid of the stress in your life, but you can 100% change your pattern of avoiding work. So next time that you're in a situation where you feel yourself hesitate, you spent way too much time checking out the highlights from last night's scores, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go, oh, I must be stressed out about something. Acknowledge the stress. Then go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to count to yourself because I want you to interrupt the habit that's stored here, and I want you to awaken your prefrontal cortex. Then I want you to just work, just for 5 minutes. The reason why I want you to only work for 5 minutes is because your problem isn't working. It's the habit of avoiding. I just need you to start. And here's the other cool thing. We know based on research that if we can get you to start, 80% of you are going to keep going. Do it anyway is a mindset trick that you can use when you start to feel excuses rolling up. It works a lot like the 5-second rule. So you have said to yourself, okay, I'm going to talk to my boss today about that thing that I've been avoiding talking to them about. Or maybe you've said something like, I'm going to go to the gym today or tomorrow or whatever. And then the moment comes where you've got to have that conversation. Or the moment comes where it's time to pack up your bag and leave your desk and go to the gym. And what always happens?
Repeat after me. I will never allow anyone to make me feel like I am not enough again. Repeat after me. I will never allow anyone to make me feel like I am not enough again. I will never allow anyone to make me feel like I am not enough again.
There is a way out, that there is a way to do more, to get more, to obtain more. But I personally don't want to lose all that I've been able to get. So I need to make sure that I do everything to keep it. So I can't be content. So there is an understanding, but I refuse to click on the switch of,
So even if you have more money than you'll ever spend for the rest of your life, that's not what it's about.
No.
It's about the inspiring people and the influence and constantly giving back and moving forward in a positive way. And the only way you can do that is to stay active.
It's the story, man.
Yeah.
You know, we're all writing a book. What's your book look like? What does your fucking book look like? Like your life is a book. You got a bunch of chapters in your book, but when they close that book, how good was the book? How good was your book? What was the ending to your book? If the ending to my book can be so amazing because of all that was done, not the money, all that was accomplished, the first to do, the man that did this, he caused the merger between this. Because of his commitment and growth to this, the communities were then given this, made education this, gave books, gave computers, gave all of the things that can be associated with you and your existence become a part of the chapters in your book. So my drive is about my book. I was a New York Times #1 bestseller. I'm writing another book.
You writing a book right now?
Yeah, what happens if you are a 2-time New York Times #1 bestseller? If you get to 2, what happens if you get to 3? Hey man, how do books become successful? Who publishes them? I want to start a publishing company, Heartbeat Publishing. Why not? That's the thing. All I'm doing is sparking the awareness in others to go, why not? Why can't I create? Why can't I start? Why can't I be a business? Why can't I be a CEO? Why can't I be a tech guru? There's so much that some people just don't understand they can do. Let me be a spark to show how many different, you don't have to do just one thing. When it's all said and done, my book is going to be full of all the shit that Kevin Hart did. Because I never was content with doing just 1, 2, or 3. Why not? I find a light in every dark tunnel. I will find a goddamn light, man. I hear it all. Listen, when I tell you the weight on my back is so heavy of all the stuff that I deal with, and I'm fine. The reason why I'm fine is because I'm genuinely happy. I'm happy. And I'm not happy just because of the success. The success acts as a bonus. I'm happy because I truly know the definition and the feeling that comes with happiness. I truly know it. I felt it. I felt it when I said, yo, what really makes me happy? And I look at Heaven and Hendrix and I look at Zoe. I look at my wife, I go, yo, I didn't have the family shit when I was coming up. Yeah, I got one. I got one. Look what I done did. Look what I built. These people depend on me. I provide for these people. That makes me happy. That makes me happy when my daughter comes up. Dad, you're not only my dad, you're my best friend. Yo, I'm happy. That's my world.
But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of
in the moment, because that's the only thing we have in our lives, are moments in time. And as soon as I've gone out that door, we can never reverse back and play it again. What happened yesterday is history. I look forward to the future on a daily basis. I live for today, and I don't care what happened yesterday. I'm just.
No matter what happens, you're my son, you're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life. Don't forget to visit your mother.
See, for every time you have a plan, a dream, an aspiration, or a goal, do you know what happens every time you have one of those? This thing comes along called life. It happens to everybody. Life has disappointment, it's got peaks and valleys.
That most people like to feel like they're a king in the area of their comfort zone. They only want to do those things that they know how to do well.
You can stop thinking that life fitting to be easy, because I got news for you, it ain't. Because it's life.
Success comes with a price that's normally bigger than what most people want to pay.
You have to fail in order to climb that ladder. There's no one that doesn't fail.
The high-performance people, the one thing that they all have in common is they're hungry. Hungry for a better life. Hungry for change.
But you can only do that through the...
It's not something that's gifted to you. Success is something that you have to go get.
I want you to stop playing the victim. You are not the victim.
Because you have now developed yourself in such confidence and such competence in how to deal in the arena of life.
You gotta have like a shark mentality, because if a shark swims backward, it dies. A shark can only move forward. And so I need you every single day you wake up and go after that dream.
Rest at the end, not in the middle. And that's something I always live by. I'm not gonna rest, I'm gonna keep on pushing now. There are a lot of answers that I don't have.